First off, thank you guys. This 1K milestone isn't mine alone. You guys made this possible, so thank you. I wanted to just sit down and talk to you guys about what I've learned over this past year, and hopefully it could help you guys out, whether it's building a business, whether it's content creation, whether it's podcast creation. I've got a ton to talk about, so let's get straight to it. I remember posting my first clip, getting 20 views and thinking I already won. Like, I had this delusional belief in my head that I was going to be this content creator, my podcast was going to be successful, and no matter what I released, I was always happy with the results. I know I put in the work to be successful, to be creative, to just step outside of my comfort zone. I was always somebody who wasn't comfortable really talking to a camera or talking out loud. If you ask my personal friends, I was a really quiet person. So it's always going to be insane to me that I have a podcast and I just come on and yap, that I have a YouTube channel that I just come on and yap. So if you're just like me, if you're awkward, if you're antisocial in a lot of different scenarios, it doesn't matter when it comes to the internet. You could literally come on here and yap and people will be able to relate. One of the biggest lessons I learned that you need to stop worrying about quality in the beginning. Worry about quantity. Just because you want to be testing as many different things, see what works for you and see what doesn't. I was so worried before I ever posted my first video that, oh my goodness, this is going to be so terrible. And it was just such the wrong mindset at the time. I worried so much about having the perfect video, having the perfect ideas, instead of just posting. Like, your first video is never gonna do amazing. It's just nearly impossible. There's those few people that just have banger ideas, banger enthusiasm, a crazy, energetic, entertaining thing about them that I just can't put my finger on, but I'm not that type of person. I take a lot of time to learn what I'm doing, especially when it comes to content creation. So you just need to start by doing it and having those repetitions and having those mistakes early. You learn a ton from failure early on. At any point, you learn a ton from failure. I'd rather fail 1,000 times than win 1,000 times in a row, because all those failures will be a lesson to how do I get to that one win? How do I continue to win after that? So keep an open mindset and don't ever put yourself down if there's none of your friends are watching you, if none of your family are supporting, because I promise you they're going to be supporting you once you start growing. Once you're able to prove to them that you're going to stick with this, that you really love this, then that's when people are going to start supporting. And if they don't, no big deal. You're not making the content for them. Hopefully you're making the content because this is your passion, because this is your love, not for anybody else. I think that's one mistake content creators make a lot of the times, especially nowadays, is that they're doing this for the wrong reasons. They're doing this either for somebody else, for monetary gain, and there's a ton of reasons I just can't think of right now. But you need to sit down prior to even recording your first video and think of why you would even want to start content creation. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's a TikTok page, Instagram page, you need to really think about why you want to do this. Because if it's just for fun, if it's for a hobby, if it's for a passion, go all in. Life is too short to not go all in. And that's one of the things I've gotten to learn over this past year. When I first started this early on, I honestly didn't believe in myself. And even now, I have days where I don't believe in myself, but I'm blessed enough to be at a point where I know the work is always going to prevail. So regardless if I believe in myself or not, and I believe I could actually make it, I'm kind of delusional in the sense that if I keep working on it, if I keep posting, that eventually it will happen. Even if you don't believe in the beginning, that's fine. Just have fun with it. I think that's where I made a mistake early on. I put way too much pressure. Like, one was all my videos need to be perfect. Two, people need to be following me instantly. But you need to sit down, like, why would people follow you? With all the content creators, all the entertainment, all the different forms of content being created every day, and people trying much harder than you, having more skills than you, all those things I was telling myself, why would people want to watch you? So that's why I had to sit down and start curating some ideas. Why would people want to watch me? Maybe I had nothing special at that point, or at least that's what I felt, but let's create something special. So I put a year of hard work. It's crazy because 2 weeks ago, we just hit a year on YouTube, and I would have never thought I was at this point. Genuinely, I was sitting at 50 subscribers for so long. I was sitting at 25 Instagram followers for so long. Now I wake up and every day it's 20, 30, 40, 50 new notifications. It's truly a blessing. I can't thank you guys enough. But that would have never happened if I gave up. The difference between the people who make it and don't are the ones who give up. If you don't stop, you're bound to make it. Regardless of how much time it takes, you just need to put your head down and keep working, and eventually people will see the work. The biggest thing as well, when creating a podcast or creating content, is being genuine. Coming in front of the camera, behind the camera, whatever way you want to hear it, and just being yourself. You can tell, as a viewer, you can tell when people aren't being authentic. And if you're not even enjoying your own content, how do you expect somebody else to enjoy your content? And that's a problem I had. I tried to be somebody else when I first started. I tried things that weren't really 100% myself. And I'm like, why do I have so much pressure built up? Why do I feel this way? I just had to self-reflect a lot. And then that's when I made the change, and I just named it Steve Reynoso Podcast. And I would just come on here and talk what I want to talk about, have the guests I want to have on, not any expectations for anybody else. And at the end of the day, obviously you want to appease your audience and you want to grow your audience. But how nice would it be to grow your audience with people who love what you love, who love you for you know what I mean? So that's the way I think of it now, is of course I want to give my audience better episodes, better guests, better and more engaging conversations. But at the same time, I want to make sure I'm still happy, I'm enjoying everything, and I'm being myself through this process. Not that I'm faking it just to get some views, because in reality, we've all seen those content creators who just aren't being themselves, who create this persona, who create this character, and they might do well for a year or two, but then they fall off, and then what happens to them? They have to either reinvent the wheel for themselves, or they just fall off and never come back. If you're looking to do this long term, which a lot of people say YouTube isn't a long-term play, and others say YouTube is a long-term play, but I mean, it's been around for about 10 years now, where people are getting paid full time. So you take it as you want to, but you can make it a long-term play if you choose so. If you decide to be authentic, if you decide to continue to grow and continue to learn. Going into my next point, learning has been the biggest factor in growth. If you do not learn from your content, if you do not learn from others' content, it's going to be a little bit harder to grow. Make it easier for yourself. Learn from others, learn from yourself, rewatch your videos. Take the ideas that you had and you're like, oh, these are really good. Take the ideas that work well and bounce off of them. Continue to work and get better. Think about it. If you have a short or you have a YouTube video that has 10 views compared to a YouTube video that had 1,000 views, you have to analyze both videos and say, what is the difference here? Why did this one do so bad and this one do so good? If it's a short specifically, think about the hooks. Think about what value you are giving to the audience. Think about the length. Really study the analytics, and then that'll help you recreate products that will do well, or stay away from products that don't do well. Also, there's a ton of videos that have really good views. There's a ton of really good videos that people enjoy to watch. So if you're interested in a certain niche, and let's say for me it's podcasting, there's so many amazing podcasters out there. All I have to do is go on YouTube, people who talk about things I like to talk about or similar guests that I have on, and really study their videos, really study why did they do well? What was this host saying and asking that is different from the way I'm asking or saying things? And just continue to learn. There's so many little keys to the social media game. A lot of people know, oh, hashtags are so important on TikTok, hashtags are so important on Instagram, whatever it may be. There's always little nuances within these social media apps that could help you out. And for me, it's been study YouTube. How do I get better on YouTube? How do I get better on podcasting? And that's where this next year is really going for me. This first year was just setting the foundation, proving to myself I could stick with it, proving to myself I genuinely love this and it's a passion, because I have a lot of things going on in the back end that are just a lot of fun as well, but it's business for me. I take it very seriously, and I don't get to have as much fun as I get to have when I'm recording my podcast. And then that's one thing as well. This is a business, but it's also a huge passion. It started off as a passion. My YouTube channel is only a business now because I've started to grow, because I don't want to let you guys down. And I kind of have been letting you guys down by not dropping any episodes the past 3 weeks. But it's because I was scared to sit in front of the camera and record this. I'm like, I need to be perfect. I need to have a perfect script. I need to have a perfect idea for what I'm going to say. And instead, here I am 3 weeks later, recording this, not even going to edit it, just going to throw it up. So this is proof to you guys. It never needs to be perfect. Just come on here, yap away what you want to yap away about. Maybe don't be like me, create some ideas, and have a little bit of a script or a guideline or outline to go off of. And then try to get better with every video. One thing I've always tried to do is get better with every video, whether it's focus on music, whether it's focus on making better intros, whether it's focus on asking better questions. You just need to try to get better with every video and make sure you're not going backwards. If you already made a mistake once, why make it again? One thing about YouTube specifically is they love consistency. I could tell you from my own trials and errors that when I stop posting for a week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, YouTube hates that. You can literally go on my channel and see when I stopped posting for 2-3 weeks and then decided to post a short or decided to post a video. All my videos flopped, because you need to think about it this way. If I'm a content creator on YouTube, why would YouTube push my videos if I decide to show up for 2 months and then disappear for another 2 months, compared to the person who's posting every day the whole year? You know what I mean? They see it as you're not taking it seriously. And I completely understand that. Even though I still disappear from time to time again, I still try my hardest to get the shorts out. But I know my competition is always working and trying to get a leg up on me. Who's my competition? I don't even know. You know what I mean? I'm kind of competing with myself, but my competition is other content creators. I need to just stay ahead of the game in that sense, where I'm not giving the audience an opportunity to forget about me. Regardless if I don't post a full podcast, I'm still posting shorts. I'm still reminding you guys why I should be here. So you need to remember that. Remind your audience why you deserve to be here, why you deserve a follow, why you deserve help to grow your channel. Help in the sense of, what did I do good? What did I do bad? I never take constructive criticism from anybody negatively. Everybody has their own opinions, and it only helps you grow. Like, I just started my channel, so why would I be like, oh, that's a terrible idea? Who am I to tell you this? But I built it to 1,000 subscribers. That's more than a lot of people could say. I remember being 14 and saying, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, and I didn't decide to start it until 10, 11 years later. So for those 11 years, I was one of those people like, oh, that's going to be so easy. It's not that easy, especially when you're not even giving yourself a chance to start. So just start posting, and post as many times as possible so you could learn as many times as possible. You could literally do 3 different formats within 30 days. Just drop a short every day, and then maybe for 10 days you do one certain format, and for the other 10 you switch it up. And then that way you could study the analytics after a month, after those first 10 days. And you just always want to be studying. I literally cannot reiterate this enough, how important it is to learn in the content creation space. And you also want to build a brand as you're going along. And you want to think about, prior to even starting this, what do I want my brand to be? Is my brand me? Is my brand going to be bigger than me? And what do you want it to signify? What do you want it to mean? When other people hear the name, if it's like me, my name, if it's a brand name, what do you want people to feel? One big thing I've learned about editing is, if you could make somebody feel a certain type of emotion through an edit, that's where you really get the audience. The videos that don't do well, I see, don't have that emotional attachment. Sometimes it's as easy as just throwing captions on the page because somebody said something really, really good to just hook the audience in and get the listener to be engaged. But other times, it's the sound effects, it's the B-roll, it's the animation. So you need to think about that before even starting content creation, if it's a podcast specifically. One of the things that helped me out the most is collaborations. I can't tell you guys how important collaborations is as well. It doesn't need to be an on-camera collaboration. You could collaborate with somebody behind the scenes. Maybe DM somebody that you saw a really good video and you're like, hey, how did you edit this? I really love your edits. Would you be willing to teach me something about how you decide to edit? I don't know, but just collaborate. I'm blessed enough where I have a podcast where I can invite other guests on and collaborate and hear their thoughts, whether they're entrepreneurs building a business, whether they're content creators. But collaboration has been genuinely the most important part of my growth, because when there's days that I don't believe in myself and I get to sit across from somebody who's already doing successful, but I hear a story about how they were down and out and how they got out of it, it's really motivating for me. And it just helps me put things into perspective. Like sometimes things aren't as bad as I believe they are. That's another thing. Perspective has been huge. My perspective change over this last year has been monumental, and it's genuinely why, as a person, I've grown so much. And I feel like as a podcast creator, my podcast has grown so much. My perspective has just changed. I really don't care about a lot of things in the sense of I don't care what people think about me. That's why I'm on here just to yap and just look crazy, no haircut, crazy hat that somebody sat on. It's because I don't care. I'm genuinely just having fun, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can with this podcast. Hopefully it's just one listener sitting at home that wants to be a power lifter and looks at my episode with Gavin and wants to be a police officer, but also a millionaire, and looks at my episode with Luis Vasquez. Like, I hope that my podcast could grow to a point where people just look on it for advice from life and maybe be inspired by the end of the day. So you really can't care what other people think if you're trying to create something great. And that's something I've had to learn and change my perspective on as time has gone on. And one thing as well that I think people do a really good job on that succeed is documenting things instead of performing. I don't come on here and perform for you guys or act a certain way or act crazy. I can if you want, but I just kind of document my life and document conversations I'm having with my friends and document conversations I'm having with my guests who hopefully are my friends after. I love building relationships. That's one thing. Like, people always say this and I always say this, your network is your net worth. So the fact that I've been able to build my network over this past year has been insane. I've gotten opportunities you guys wouldn't even imagine of. I mean, I'm working with Justin LeBoy, one of the biggest names just in the hip hop culture. He has 7 million followers on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure he's like the 7th most searched person in the world right now, which is absolutely absurd. Me, living out my parents' basement at the time, doing absolutely nothing, never created content, didn't even post on Instagram for 5-6 years prior to that, and now I'm working with the biggest names. Like, last week I was with G Herbo, if any of you guys know that. Shakur Stevenson, one of the best boxers in the world. Doors have opened because I got out of my comfort zone. I said it in the beginning. I was an awkward person. I didn't really like to speak to many people, and now I'm in rooms that I would have never thought of just because I decided to hop on my podcast and just start yapping away. Even if it doesn't make sense half the time, just how I'm probably not making sense and all over the place right now. But this is part of my own learning and my own lesson. I want to make sure going into the next year, I have a lot more structure and really emphasizing what does my brand mean? What do I mean? I have a lot to think of for myself, but I just wanted to come on and break down kind of a few of the lessons I've learned over this past year. I'm sorry if it doesn't make a ton of sense because I didn't really plan this one out. I should have, but that's going to be a lesson learned for me. Now I know for the next time, maybe the next time when I hit 10,000 subscribers or maybe when I hit 100 episodes, come on here with an executable plan and make more sense for you guys. But I hope this video helped. I just want to thank you guys again for following, subscribing, whatever it is. It means the world to me. I appreciate it so much, and I just hope you guys continue to enjoy my content and continue to enjoy the episodes we're putting out. I have 5 episodes right now on the burner. I got 5 recorded, so you guys are going to see more consistency in the upcoming weeks, and I'm just going to make sure to stay on top of that. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. We are out of here. Road to 10K, baby.